Cheers. 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 It's the terrible stuff about drinking. Drinking other people's health, you screw up your own. The strange thing about working on television, if somebody's seen the show and they haven't enjoyed it, they'll never really walk up to you and say, I haven't enjoyed the show. They'll walk up and say, I saw your show the other day. Smashing. Really was great. 45 minutes, it went by just like 30 minutes. Smashing. The only thing I thought one of those gags at the beginning was a bit near the knuckle. And some of those sketches you do, I mean, you really can see the end of them, can't you? I mean, and even though I'm not religious, those religious gags you do in the sketches, I mean, you really do hit out a bit hard. I think it's, you know. And as for that end sketch, I mean, I said, you didn't really enjoy the show? He said, no, I didn't even watch it. And actually, you get a tiny bit wary of people coming up to you talking about the television show. A fellow came up to me the other day and he said, you're the Irish comedian with half a finger. And I said, no, I'm the Irish comedian with 9.5 fingers. And expressions like, saw your show on the telephone. It was lovely when people, actually, I don't know why, but they woke up and say, you know, you're my greatest fan. Would you mind giving me my autograph? Yeah, what's your name? I had a lovely one, actually. Somebody walked up to me in the station one day and he said, you used to be a comedian. And as you know, we have various actors in our show. And somebody, I don't know what the hell he meant by it, but he said to me the other day, he said, those actors in your show. And I said, yes, what about them? He said, are they real people? I actually mentioned, despite the BBC's scissors, I got it through. I mentioned on the first show the word contraceptive. Done it again. And I had a letter from a young lady in Ireland who asked me, what is a contraceptive? All I can say, madam, if you're looking in, a contraceptive is something that the English use at every conceivable moment. Actually, the best form of oral contraceptive is the word no. And I'm also asked why I never laugh at my own gags. See, I don't like laughter. I mean, the reason I suppose I don't laugh at them is because I've heard them before. But I don't really like comedians saying, here's one. If I can think of one I don't know, I'll tell you it. It was a drunk. It's a drunk in a train. And he's sitting there and he's got his ticket in his mouth. And the ticket collector comes in and he says, tickets, please. And everybody else does. And hands them up. And he goes over to the drunk and says, ticket, please. And the drunk goes. The ticket collector said, it's in your mouth. Takes out this soggy thing and hands it over. And off he goes. The fellow sitting in the corner, he said, I suppose you found yourself rather silly in a situation like that. You know? He said, I suppose you know, looking at yourself, you were rather stupid, actually, sitting there with a ticket in your mouth and searching your pockets. I was sucking off the date. A little bit of poetry. It all began with God's love for man, when Adam and Eve were lovers, and Cain and Abel learned and lost the love for brother. There is maidenly love for the boy that she loves. As they learn to love together, there is sisterly love, there is fatherly love, there's a family's love for each other. But the greatest love, the love of loves, more tender than that of a mother, is a gentle, noble, compassionate love of one drunken sod for another.
Right, Mr. Brown, I'd just like you to read, please, the letters on the board.
G-N-V-U-B-P-Y-L-H-E.
Very good. Now we'll try the other eye.
T-O-M-W-R.
Very good. I can't see anything wrong with you at all. And I will now demonstrate the power of the karate punch. Be careful to position yourself, taking a deep breath, exhaling on the drive, therefore giving more power.
Here's your overcoat, dear. It's very cold out, so make sure it's buttoned up.
Yes, Mother.
Right. No, don't take that off, dear. There's a good boy. We don't want you to get a stiff neck, do we?
No, Mother.
Now, you're quite sure you're going to be all right, dear? You wouldn't want me to come with you?
Mother, I am only going across the road to post a letter.
Oh, I know that, dear, but it's a very busy road.
Mother, will you realize once and for all that I am a fully grown man? All my life you've treated me like a baby. I am not a baby, I'm an adult. And now I am going out of this door, crossing the road, posting this letter by myself, alone. So there.
Oh, what happened? Oh, tell Mumsy.
I fell down.
Oh, I think it was very nice.
That was lovely.
Lovely.
Oh, thank you. Wishbone.
I've been living in England for over 20 years. The thing that fascinates me is the English language. Because in Ireland we speak Erse or Gaelic, and people ask me, do I speak it? I speak it, but I don't understand it. And that's why I speak English. And actually, I've been traveling around England for many years, and the sound of English is different no matter where I go. For example, if I go to the Midlands around Birmingham, they tend to speak from the back of their throats. It's all "Yalls be rot, yalls local you about you, got a couple of brothers isles, well do." You go to the West Country, they speak from the top of the mouth. Sounds like they're all constipated. You go to Liverpool and places like that, it's all in the nose. It's all like, you're all right, thank you, you're all right, we'll have a couple of jams, won't we? They don't have to speak like that. All they got to do is go, hello, how are you? And the capital, London, for some reason or other, they're always asking you questions. What was that last night, wasn't I? I was out with my bear last night, wasn't I? We had a couple of beers, didn't we? I don't bloody know. How the hell do I know? Well, have you listened to the supposed upper classes? Yeah, I know. I live in your house and I can come here in Harley. We have a lorry hall. Now you agree? Sounds like his tongue's got a hernia. English is a stunning language. You think about it, you don't go for a drive in your car, you go for a run in your car. Go for a spin on your bike, and you go for a trip on a ship. We had a lot of trippers on our ship, they were falling over all the bloody time. You go to a football match, you do not stand. You do not stand in the stand. You sit down in the stand. You're not allowed to stand in a stand. If you want to stand, you leave the sitting down part of the stand and go to the standing part of the stand. And here's a contradiction. If freight sent by ship is cargo, freight sent by a car is shipment. And if you're a professional man, there are various words to describe your removal from your job. For example, if you're an officer, you're cashiered. If you're a doctor, you're struck off. If you're a barrister, you're debarred. And if you're a priest, you're unfrocked. And I'm not surprised if you wear clothes like that. But if you take it a bit further, is an electrician delighted? Is a model deposed? A jockey dismounted? Secret agents despised? Office clerks defiled? Magicians disillusioned. An MP would be dismembered. A poof would be decamped. Prostitute would be delayed. Excuse me laughing, I haven't heard that one before. Comedy relies on reaction. It sets off its own sequence of events. For example, if I tell a gag and you laugh, your reaction makes me react to the way that you react. So that when I tell another gag, I put more into it than I would have done if your reaction in the first place hadn't been as good as the reaction that it was. Whatever you do in life, or whatever you say in life, causes its own reaction. What that means and where it's taken us, I have no idea, and I don't know what your reaction is going to be. But we'll wait and see.
And another thing, it's all very well you lying there saying how ill you are. What about me? I've been to fetch and carry 33 years of slavery, isn't it? That's what my marriage has been. Oh, and don't sniff. Oh, stop gasping. Oh, and don't mumble.
I'm going.
Oh, yes, going, are you? Going where?
I'm dying. I'll get away from your endless nagging.
Oh, no, you don't. You don't get away that easy. Oh, I've been ready for this. Oh, you little so-and-so sneaking off like that. Oh, 10 seconds, that's all it'll take, and then we'll be meeting up again. Oh!
I'm feeling much better now. Say goodbye.
You've done it! Mount Everest! That makes me the highest man in the world!
But Benson, you're forgetting one thing. I'm a little bit taller than you. That makes me the highest man in the world.
What if I stand on my tippy toes?
But if I stand on my tippy toes, I'm still the highest man in the world.
But if I jump up and down, that makes me the highest man in the world. Some of the time.
But if I jump up and down, that makes me the highest man in the world all of the time.
You understand the plan? You go up the road a bit, give a bit of a thumb, show a lot of leg.
Yeah, and make sure it's a man driver.
Right, when he stops, we leap out from behind the bushes, clobber him and nick the motor.
Right.
Right?
Got it?
Right.
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 You know that there is a very rare frog in Rhodesia which is in danger of becoming extinct. It is known as the wide-mouthed frog. And they all got together, these frogs, because they're frightened that they will be totally wiped out. And they're not prepared to just sit back and let it happen. They want to do something about it. So they all go, what are you going to do about it? What are you going to do about it? I don't know. What are you going to do about it? So they elect a spokesman called Bartholomew. But you can't say Bartholomew like that. And he goes off to see Mr. Ian Smith. He said, Mr. Ian Smith, I am the representative of the white-mouthed frog, and we are in great danger of being wiped out. And we are very necessary to the ecology of the world because we eat flies and spiders and insects. We are very necessary. And Mr. Smith says, go away, Frog. I have enough problems of my own with all these kefirs. Don't come with me. All these black men are trying to screw up my democracy. Go see the Minister of the Environment. So off he goes. Minister of the Environment. I'm the White Mouse Frog, and we are dangerous of an extent. He said, go away, I've traveled with the gorillas. Go away. So he goes to the police inspector. Police inspector, I'm the White Frog man, and I want to think that we are in danger of being wiped out totally. And the police inspector said, go away from me, Frog, I don't even like you. So eventually what the frog does is forget about man, and he thinks he will plead his case to the animal kingdom. So he goes over to a big elephant and he goes, Mr. Elephant! Mr. Elephant! I'm a wild-mouthed frog, and we are in danger of becoming extinct. And the elephant looks down and goes, you have troubles? What about me? My tusks. Fellas are chasing me all over the veldt, trying to get my tusks. I can't worry about you. I'm sorry about you, but I've got enough to worry about. So the wide-mouthed frog goes off and sees the fan-tailed phantom. He goes, fan-tailed phantom, I'm a frog, and we're in danger of becoming extinct. And the fantail says, well, we are too. We're being chased all over. The fellas are trying to get the feathers from me. Yeah, I'm sorry. Well, can't you do anything else? He said, no. So the little wide-mouthed frog eventually is sitting by himself on the banks of a river, sewed down at the mouth. Oh. Little tears. I'm going to die. Little frogs are going to die. And all of a sudden, he sees a crocodile. And he thinks, crocodiles. He'll help me because they're in danger of becoming extinct. People are killing them and making bags and shoes out of them. He'll help me. And he goes, Mr. Crocodile! Mr. Crocodile! Wake up, Mr. Crocodile! Wake up! I'm a wide-mouthed frog, and we are in danger of becoming extinct. And the crocodile says, I love to eat wide-mouthed frogs. And the wide-mouthed frog said, you don't see many of them around nowadays, do you? A legend is something that starts as a truth, and then because of gradual telling and retelling, changes completely. It's rather like getting a snowball and rolling it down a hill. The more it goes, the more it gathers, changes its whole shape and style. And we're no different. We've got here some rather famous legends which we have added our little bit to.
Hello, a little frog.
Oh, hello, princess.
You speak.
Yes, of course. Hey, kiss me.
Kiss a frog?
But surely you have heard the story of the princess who kissed the frog.
Oh, yes. And when she kissed him, he turned into a handsome prince.
Well?
Romeo, wherefore art thou, Romeo?
Yeah. 15 years of scratching this wall. I, Monte Cristo, for a few moments for freedom. Once more, I must kill the wicked dragon and save the pretty damsel. not exactly the way children like to hear it. Actually, of all the people in the world, I think the most logical people in the world are children. They do away with all the waffle. They're not bothered about things like diplomacy. They get to a point. I was listening to a father talking to his daughter about road drill. And he said, now explain to me what happens when you come to a road. And she said, well, I stop, I look right, I look left, I look right again, and I listen. And if there's nothing coming, I walk across the road. And he said, that's very good. What happens if something's coming? She said, I got run over. And I was in Wales recently, and a woman was telling me this. She had a little boy of 3.5 years of age, and he didn't like hot boiled milk. But his mother insisted that he drank it. So what he would do when it was boiling, when it was in the pot, not quite boiling, but just warming up, he used to get his little plastic cup, and he'd dip it in and drink as much as he could while it was kind of lukish warm. And his mother caught him at it one day. She clipped him over the ear and said, don't go near the pot when it's on the stove. You could pull it down and burn yourself very badly. So she put the pot back on the stove, filled it up, went out the door, left it open, and watched him. And he got his little plastic cup, he went over to the pot, and he's going... And he sees that he's drank too much. And then he says, please God, if Mummy finds out I've been drinking the milk, she'll beat me. Please fill it up again. And at that moment, it started to boil. And over it came over the edge. And he goes, no, that's too much, God. Actually, it's incredible when you think children actually grow up and become sensible human beings. I mean, the way we treat them. When a child is born, do we, the parents, do we ask the child? Do we say, would you like to be born? Would you like to come into the world? We don't consider them in any way at all. We get together, and 9 months later, because of that relationship, he is on his way in. And what is the first thing that happens to him when he gets into the world? He's suspended upside down, and somebody is beating the life out of him. And all he can think is, I haven't done anything. What will they do to me if I do something? And people think that it is a natural process for a child to lose its hair after 5 days. Rubbish! He's worried to death. And what is the first thing he sees, apart from his mother? His father. A hairy monster, leaning in over the cot, smelling of whiskey and cigars, saying, oogie-dee-googie, witchy-guggy-duggy, boogie-woogie-doogie. And the kid is sitting there thinking, that's the idiot that's going to teach me how to speak English? When a child is born, its skin is new, it's tender, it can be easily irritated and made itchy. And what do we do as parents? We dress them in woolens, which make them itchy. And then to make sure that they don't scratch themselves, we put little mittens on them. And then we sit around wondering why they're screaming all day. Have you ever seen a mother give a child the first bath? Does she ever test the temperature of the water with any part of the person who is having the bath? She tests it with her elbow, which has been knocking around for years. Old, gnarled, weather-beaten skin. His is brand new. He goes, yeah, that's all right. Boom, in he goes. And she says, he loves it. He's splashing. He's drowning. He's drowning and he's half-boiled. And she's saying, he loves it. Look at him. You ever see a child that's nice and pink? Don't sit thinking that's the bud of health. Believe me, that's not healthy. He's half-boiled. People, I don't know, adults, they're always probing children. They're always digging at them. They take this and they explore children. They go googie doogie, woogie woogie, doogie woogie. And it's always that exposed area between the nappy and the vest. There's a kind of 4-inch strip across the belly. They all go woogie doogie woogie woogie, woogie doogie woogie. I am the only person in the world with 5 navels. They're always sticking their fingers, dirty, nicotine-stained fingers, into babies' mouths. Doesn't the baby have any teeth? Don't they know if the baby had any teeth, they wouldn't have any fingers? Watch the process. the process of feeding. The mother spoon-feeding her child. Now, you and I know when we are hungry, and you and I know whether we like to eat the food or not. But when it comes to feeding a baby, none of that comes into consideration. He is going to eat it whether he is hungry or not, whether he likes it or not. They get the spoon, and the baby food. Baby. So they trick the child into opening his mouth. They say, Dada, and he goes, Dada. So he spits it all out, he goes, and it's all gathered up and shoved back in again. And he turns his head, and it's... Not only are they... When they're finished feeding the child, they pick it up and they proceed to thump the back of it. Boom, 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 boom. And the baby soon learns that the only way to stop them hitting him is to go... And actually, if he's a clever baby and he does a big enough belch, he can bring out all that rubbish at the same time. And have you ever noticed that everybody buys a baby a rattle? They have never once given a thought, does the baby like the rattle? Does he want the rattle? They buy him the rattle. Anytime a child goes out into a pram, the rattle goes with him. And people walk by and they go, hello, baby. After about a half an hour, he thinks, screw this. Does the only sensible thing he can do with it? He gets rid of it. And as soon as he gets rid of it, what happens? Somebody comes along and picks it up. Did the baby drop the rattle? He gets rid of it again, and some other idiot comes along. And the kid is sitting in there thinking, take that rattle, stick it somewhere you can rattle it yourself, but don't put it in here! And then there's all the process of teaching a child how to speak. Dada. Dada. Mama. Mama. Baba. Baba. Walkies. Walkies. As soon as you learn to walk, what happens? They stick you in a playpen to keep you out of trouble. To them, it is a playpen. To you, the child, it is Alcatraz. And the child is sitting there, banging the floor with a little plastic spade, and they say, he's enjoying himself. He's trying to dig a tunnel out. And then the day comes when the father takes the child by the hand to take him out into the world to educate him. That is a bow wow. Bow wow. Da-da bow wow. Moo moo. Moo moo. Choo choo puff puff. Choo choo puff puff. Baba lamb. Moo moo beep beep. The kid is 3.5 years of age. He walks into his father and he said, Dada, Baba saw bow wow chase moo moo. At which point the father strikes him. It is not a moo-moo or a bow-wow or a chuff-chuff. It is a dog. It is a cow. It is a motor car and a train. Act your age. The most amazing thing is actually how children learn to read nowadays. They learn their alphabet phonetically. I said to my daughter, do your alphabet. She goes, abacada, I thought I had an idiot in the house. Dog is no longer dog, it is a production. What's that? Duh! Good. Now, what's the next letter? O! If not O, how do you pronounce it? Right, now put the two together. Duh! Very good. What is the next letter? G! How do you pronounce G? It's not G. It is not G. What is the other pronunciation? G. G. Very good. Now put D-O-G together. Duh! 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 J. What is the other pronunciation? G. Right, now try it. Dog. 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 Daddy. Bow wow. 14 years of age. And the incredible thing is when we totally confuse our children, we begin to terrify them. We tell them that if they are not good, and if they do not behave, the bogeyman, the nasty bogeyman will come along and take them away. The wicked dwarf will creep into the bedroom at night and stuff them into his black sack and take them down into his underground caverns. The witch will fly in, snaffle them up and take them to the forest and turn them into a gingerbread man. And the kid sits in his room and he is terrified. And all he has got for security is his thumb. And he starts to suck it. And what do? We tell him if he sucks his thumb, the great long red-legged scissor man will come along with a huge pair of scissors and snip, snap, snip his thumbs off. Consequently, when the child goes to sleep at night, he has nightmares. He wakes up terrified. And the mother and father run in and they say, "What is the matter with my little baby?" And he goes, "It's a dwarf! And the wicked witch, she's going to turn me out, and the gingerbread, and going to eat me, and the big fellow with the long leg, and he's going to snip me thumbs off." And they go, "Oh, darling, darling, there are no such things. All right, now, be a good boy. Go back to sleep. Yes, good boy. Because if you're not good, the bogeyman will come along." I suppose that's how we get prime ministers, really, isn't it? I've got to go in a few minutes. Anyway, the show is about over. You might say it's time for Davy Wavy to go bye-byes. But before we go, I have one last sketch. If you ever notice on American television, there is always at least one black man. And this is because the American Television Charter insists that minority groups are represented. And I suppose the same thing will happen here. But why stop at the compulsory black man? Why should not every race be represented? Can you imagine what the final scene of Hamlet would look like?
Indeed, the king is drinking now to Hamlet. Come, begin, and you, the judges, bear a wary eye. Thank you.
Come, sir! I will be after having you. For thus I'll avenge the wretched wrongs that you have done me with my lapia.
Oh, stay, and let me please to be drinking. Hamlet, this pearl is extremely thine. Here's to thy health. Please be giving him the cup.
Indeed, but sure, I'll be after finishing this bout first. Put it by, and later I will drink it all, and all.
The Queen carouses thy fortune, Hamlet, my boy.
Please not to be drinking now.
But I will, my lord. What for should I not be drinking already? Oh, have I a husband? So now I cannot be drinking from my own son's cup. Shalom, my boy. Why so warm and pale?
My God, it is the poison drink.
Ow! Stone the bloody crows! Bleed on both sides!
Oh, justly killed by my own treachery.
Oh, it is the drink, my boy. Oh, my life. That is the end of it.
Hamlet, thou art slain. Of the king, of the kings to blame. I thought I'd been a bit too slow. Now you'll join me, mother in hell.
Oh, my goodness gracious.
Monsieur, I am dying.
To true sport.
There is no sound at all. At all. at all.
Oh, bleeding woe. Good night, sweet prince, and flights of angels sing thee to thy wrist.
Hello there. I is the English ambassador. Oh, my God. We come too late. Anyways, Rosencrantz and Guildenstern, they're dead. And this here is Fortinbras of Norway.
More woeful sight ne'er did mortals see. Ah, tragedy. Ah, death. Ah, to hell with it. Let's go and have a drink, Jimmy.
Good night. Thank you. May your God go with you.